decision fatigue is killing your productivity. And I'm going to share my experience with you and see if you actually relate with this. If you can, I'm going to share how I'm approaching this and how you can actually like get off this. So yeah, so this morning I actually spent an hour deciding on during my prospecting time, which is, all basically context. So I want to get people. I want to get myself in front of people who I can sell my, who can be my potential employers, who I can help with my AI automation services. But I just spent an hour deciding I actually should do outreach, but I was not executing, I was not shipping, I was not deciding, and what to decide. Like I was deciding which outreach approach do I use, how to perfect the emails, or whether the job apps or cold email, which approach should I use, and how to differentiate myself when all of these people are doing cold email. If you do relate, do stick out in the video. And the result of me just deciding all of this is zero emails sent and zero progress made, and I was just completely drained, because this is called decision fatigue. It just means, decision actually like drains you faster than execution itself most of the times. And yeah, what decision fatigue actually looks like. Now, you know what you need to do, but you just cannot do it. I mean, for me this week, I just have like 100 scraped leads yesterday who are ready to contact, and I can email templates and working systems and clear goal. I just need to like get on employer calls, as many as possible. But I'm just tweaking the approach, researching better methods that I can get this done, and perfecting the system, and just planning instead of doing. And no matter how many days I spend planning, it just means like zero emails sent. And there's a code which says like bad emails get replies, and perfect emails sit in the draft folder. So yeah, I mean, the planning, and the worst part about is that the planning feels really productive. Like it just feels really good, but it's actually avoidance. Like yeah, and actually execution doesn't feel good. It feels much more resistive. Just a second, I'll just yeah, it feels much more resistive, and things that I wouldn't want to do. And yeah, but that is actually what moves the needle, that things that doesn't feel good, and I feel it's very much resistance towards. And yeah, why decisions drains you more than work. I mean, deciding, as I said, takes more energy than doing. This morning, I just spent 1 hour deciding what approach to use, and completely exhausted at the end of it, although I felt super productive while doing it, versus 30 minutes actually sending just 5 emails, personalizing and sending them. Would have been energizing plus done. The math is like 1 hour of decision making would be zero output and drain, and execution 30 minutes and 5 emails, and I would feel energized. So basically, I think I might have convinced you, or you might have already been convinced on the fact that execution is the thing that we should be doing, and not over decision making. And yeah, thinking about work, as we know, like is not actually doing it. So yeah, and yeah, I'm just going to talk about a few frameworks and say why frameworks are like really powerful. And yeah, so the planning fallacy, which is our brain tricks us. So as I've said, planning feels like progress, but it's actually not. It's very comfortable because no rejection risk, no failure risk, because we're always moving for the better plan, and it feels really productive, which because it feels like we're actually producing something, but not but that's just like a trick our brain plays on us. But it's safe. But execution, on the other hand, feels scary, and we might get rejected, might fail, exposed, and uncomfortable. And so brain just chooses planning always over execution. And I always think I'm just being strategic, but in reality, I'm just justifying avoiding just doing the hard thing or the resistant thing, which is just sending those outreaches, which would actually move the needle. I used to think why this thing is like so simple, why would just not anybody like get this done? But now I realize it's actually the resistance that goes with actually doing the hard things. And yeah, and the next thing is like analysis paralysis. So Barry Schwartz, he has said about the paradox of choice. So it just means that the more options we have, it's much harder to decide than just having lesser options. There's like a lot of research that was held upon this, and yeah, it just leads to paralysis, having more options. It just seems like more options can be like I used to think that more options means more freedom, but actually it's the other way around. In my example, I just have like a lot of stuff, like should I do job applications, cold email, or should I include Loom videos in these? And yeah, a lot of these other stuff. Should I focus on LinkedIn and all of these? And I have too many options and just can't pick any, and zero action taken. So one thing that we're getting from this, we just need to like make it simple. Simple and clear is better than complex and Okay, I forgot the code, but yeah, you get the idea. And a perfect decision that never happens is worse than the good enough decision done today. And yeah, you might have seen this graph. So this graph is the learning clarity curve. So we might often think that learning more or knowing more about something, or putting myself out there into that space more, can give me more clarity so that I can take action. But there's actually a sweet spot. If we cross that, any more learning in that would only stall action rather than help action. So what am I talking about? So in this curve, so the first 30% of knowledge that we get, I'm just confused. And we just don't know much about the space yet. So we just need to learn more at this stage. And here, research actually makes sense. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn at all and just execute and not plan at all. But yeah, and once we are there, then 30% to 70% knowledge. So that is like the sweet spot. And here, clarity, once we reach like 70 or 60%, clarity is like, hi, now is the time to execute. But this is when our brain, we just want to do a little bit more research, a little bit more to increase to the get to the 100%, and that is where we fail into paralysis by analysis. And yeah, that is when things get overwhelming and clarity drops, not increases, because we're just overwhelmed by all these ideas, and we just feel like there's too much to learn, and we just it just stalls action. And so I think at 70% we just need to stop learning and just start doing. And doing the thing would help us like identify patterns and actually learn more than actually just learning. So yeah, I think I just need to execute and not learn more. And yeah, another helpful rule is a 70-20-10 learning rule. So yeah, how you actually learn. So 70%. So this is like a very useful rule in terms of like deciding how we actually learn something. So yeah, it shouldn't be just doing an experience, but it should be 70% doing an experience and 20% from feedback / coaching. So actually doing it and then getting feedback. So it could mean that I'm doing these outreaches, and so I track them, and things that we don't track don't improve, because only things that we can track can we actually improve. So it could be anything. In my case, it's outreach. In your case, it could be building muscle, or I don't really know my audience yet, but anything that could be, we need to do some sort of tracking. So in my case, I need to track the email open rate, and I don't know, if I'm sending a Loom video, then Loom video open rate, and that would just help me identify, okay, so if my email open rate is bad, then that means my subject lines are bad, so I need to tweak the subject lines and make them better. Or if if you're doing if you want to become more muscular, then you probably need to do a workout and track your workouts that you're doing and actually see what's giving you gains, and track your weight or something. But I don't really know. But and the 10%, only 10% actually comes from formal learning or courses. I used to do this the other way around. I used to spend 70% of my time actually learning courses when I started. Before getting into AI and automation space, I used to was into copywriting and digital marketing. And I just know I just said to myself, I'm going to be working for 8 hours straight. And there was this time where I just worked for 8 hours, but all I did was just watch this long courses about copywriting. And at the start it helped me get used to the space, but over time I just kept watching these courses for 8 hours and it wasn't actually moving any needle. And it's actually obvious at this point, but I didn't know it about that time. So the thing I'm saying is, more research is not always more clarity. There's a sweet spot, which is 70%, and anything more than that just overwhelms us. So more courses is not equal to more progress. So we just learn by doing and not by planning to do. So and there's the Parkinson's law of triviality. So it's called bike shedding. So people spend more time on trivial decisions. So example, it's kind of sounds obvious, but hold on. So spend 3 days deciding which outreach method versus 30 minutes just sending 5 emails. And the trivial decision here is, just a second, I'll be back. Getting back. So this law just states that we spend more time on decisions that don't actually matter. So right now, what do I want? In my case, I just want to get myself in front of potential employers who I can actually help with my AI automation services, so that I can get on calls with these people, which would mean that I have a reliable prospecting system, which would reliably book calls for me, which I can lead to getting them as employers. But that is like the actual decision. So yeah, what are like the important or crucial decisions here? Me actually sending the emails and me actually like putting myself in front of them, which would mean, I don't know, just doing the outreach. But I mean, the trivial decisions here are, I don't know, like if I were to like build a website, or yeah, maybe us, yeah, some people just spend, or say they would want to build a business, and they would do market research and website building for a year, and that would just not move the needle anywhere. If yeah, and in my case, maybe it's not so obvious, but yeah, I am probably spending on like, which the important action is like sending emails gets avoided. In my case, I'm just spending a lot of time on actions that don't matter, like which channel I'm doing, or yeah, I mean, yeah, and the 70% rule, my framework. Yeah, so as I said, like just stop at 70% confidence or 70% learning. Once you know that, you know 70% about like what you're doing, and not anything more than that. You know that there's like more you can learn about it, but no, I feel like you just need to stop planning at that point and just start executing. And why 70%? As I said, 100% confidence is like impossible. And yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like you'll never feel ready. So people want to feel ready before they start, but it just never happens, and that is the perfectionism trap. And me, who was like a super perfectionist, and even now, like even before recording this video, I spent a lot of time perfecting even this video, but I was like, let me just hit record and do yeah, just record whatever, and yeah, ensure it's like valuable enough to people, and yeah, just post it. And yeah, 70% is like I just know enough to start, and execution will teach me the rest 30% way faster than learning the 30%. So yeah, how you know you're at 70%, that is like a very important question at that point. So yeah, it just means that you can explain the approach clearly. So if you can actually like list out the approach that you're taking clearly, and you've also like seen it work for others, like yeah, that is like a very important thing that I asked. So has it worked for others? Like has anyone who has done this before actually did this approach, and has it worked for them? Then I'm like, okay, that is it, done, and I'm just gonna execute. And yeah, you just have like the basic tools or knowledge about this, and yeah, you just know what to do. And yeah, if you just don't even know what to do, then probably just expose yourself more to that. And yeah, if yes to about, you're past 70%, stop deciding and just start doing. Like that is what I'm gonna say to myself. And yeah, decide once and then execute for 30 days. It doesn't need to be like hard 30, but yeah, for usual a lot of stuff it could be 30 days, because I mean, a lot of the times I just commit myself to this, and on day 3 or day 5 I just find myself questioning, is this even the right approach? Maybe I should shift to a different approach. And yeah, that and I think it just means I'm over reflecting on stuff, and sometimes I just need to give it that time. Some actions, I mean, some inputs lag outputs, which is like input could be me sending outreaches, and people maybe, yeah, I have to wait before I actually get good at outreach. Like it would take me, I don't know, like I have to like suck at sending outreaches for like 20 messages, and then the 21st one moving forward, like I send good ones. But yeah, there's like I need to give that time so that I actually get good at it, and actually like people actually learn stuff from feedback, and then iterate and iterate, and then I get at it. So yeah, maybe what I'm thinking about is I'm just going to send 5 outreaches every day, personalized and with Loom videos. And yeah, 5 every day. And if I do it for 30 days, that's 5 times 30, 150. And 150, I think, is like a good number where I can actually like reflect. So I'm only going to reflect after 30 days. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't like reflect at all, but yeah, just catching myself when I fall into over reflection at this point, and just say, let me just do it and see after 30 days. And yeah, if I think that that is that moves the needle more than actually just moving to the next shiny thing, because it's so easy to get that done. And yeah, and as I said, define the approach. So yeah, pick one simple thing. For me, it's just send 5 personalized cold emails per day. And yeah, for me, and yeah, including Loom video for 30 days. Step 3, just execute, no redeciding, as I said, no strategy changes, and no better method research. And yeah, for me, I just do the thing every single day. But it's yeah, and that is what I would want to do, but it's actually kind of hard, because I often find myself going back to reflection. So I think I would just have to like set some sort of accountability or better tracking metrics, so that I can actually see what inputs are going in. And yeah, and only that would probably like make me just stick to the thing, rather than I don't know, shifting to the next shiny thing, And yeah, and not on day 3, not on day 5, but only on day 30 am I going to like look back on what happened. Yeah. And why 30 days? As I said, you just cannot evaluate about outreach in 3 days, and yeah, it could be different for different habits or different things you're working on. But yeah, I mean, you have to like give it that time that it requires, rather than doing it too early. Yeah, common pattern that I've often found myself was like start approach, no results yet, and doubt just starts creeping in, and this isn't working, and then I just try something else, and that again is a new approach, and again it's just like a cycle. So no results, and then doubt creeps in. Okay, let's move on to the next approach, and that just gives, yeah, you never give anything time to work. That is, I often find myself doing this, so I just need to like stick with one thing simple enough, and yeah, stick with it. Stick with a very simple thing for a consistent period of time, and that would actually work, rather than sticking with the perfect thing for and not giving it enough time. So yeah, for me in my case, yeah, I'm just sticking it with for 30 days. Yeah, and another important thing that I think I should really need to be aware of is tracking inputs and not outputs. So yeah, inputs is something that we can control, and what we put into it. It can be like sending 5 outreach messages, or I'm just talking all about outreach, or maybe I don't know, going to gym for working out 40 minutes every day, or it could be I don't know. Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah, and what is it that we put in, and output is, I don't know, I put out these videos, and output could be like the views that I get or subscribers that I get. And yeah, I control the email sent, and what I don't control is, I mean, in a way I do control the views and engagements, but for me at the moment, all I would want to do is just put in the reps so that I get better at sharing value to people, so that it's actually valuable for people and actionable for people. And yeah, so I just put in the reps for now, and for now all I'm going to focus on is only the inputs. So yeah, a lot of the times you would just need to like focus on inputs and not worry about outputs for a certain period of time, and only focus on outputs after I've given it enough time, and then I can feel like, okay, I've given this enough time and it's working, or maybe it's not working, so I just say it's not working. So now I shift to the next thing, because I've tried and tested this, rather than just moving to the next shiny thing when things become hard. So yeah, and yeah, build your own analytics. Like yeah, I think this is like a really cool or really useful thing as well. And yeah, with YouTube, I think I have been like consistent with YouTube for over 30 days now. But yeah, but I cannot do the same with prospecting. And I think the reason, one reason is definitely because of accountability, because people watch this and my family watch this and whatever. So yeah, I was like, okay, let me just do this, and that accountability gives me that extra push to like actually post videos. But yeah, and the other thing actually is analytics. Like it gives me all these like cool analytics and insights that I can see of congratulations on 1,000 views or whatever. It gives me those messages, and that just hits the dopamine and helps me keep posting. But I think it's not the same for prospecting. I feel like I need to implement some of these into here, but how can I do it? I feel like for prospecting, there's no tracking. It just feels like I'm just throwing things into the void, sending all these messages into the void where nothing actually happens, and I'm just putting all these effort for vain. No feedback, and feels pointless, which is why the solution is like building actually tracking things for prospecting too. So yeah, I've realized it doesn't need to be fancy. A simple Google Sheet works. Like if I want to send outreach, I just have to like track email sent, date, lead name, and then email opened, question mark, and a checkbox, or and then Loom video opened, then checkbox, and call booked. And I just can see every conversion at each stage. So that is what is a funnel that I can track. So if I don't know, when I look back, when I'm retrospecting, or when I'm reflecting on the approach and see that one of it is not really good, it could be, I don't know, that my reply rate, or yeah, people are not or maybe my click-through rate or email opening rate is not good, then it just means that my subject lines are not good. So I just need to now I have this feedback. Now I need to iterate my subject lines and make them better, so that they can be good, so that my conversion there will be good. And yeah, those tracking metrics are what helps me, what gives feedback, which lets me like make it better over time, and yeah, make it visible. Like yeah, I think also check it daily and celebrate milestones, which is like a very terrible thing. I'm very terrible at this. Yeah, I probably need to set I don't know, like once I set 50 emails, once I send 50 emails, then I don't know, like maybe go grab yeah, have good dinner at a restaurant or something. Yeah, you just celebrate yourself, and that just gives you the push to like do it. And yeah, and as I've said, I'm just gonna steal what makes YouTube work for me into this. So yeah, for outreach, as I said, I'll track all of these, like total prospects, call bookings, and all of that. And yeah, it can work for any habit, your workouts done, weight lifted, or PR achievements, or streak length, or whatever. Tracking is consistency. And yeah, so I just want you probably might have heard of this quote from Reid Hoffman, which is, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your products, you've launched too late. And this thing has stuck out with me, which is, if I am not embarrassed by the first version of whatever I'm doing, I just launched it too late, perfecting it. So yeah, and launching it before it's perfect just lets me learn way faster than perfecting it. So yeah, just apply to outreach. If my email feels perfect, if my first email feels perfect, then I just waited for too long and wasted time, basically. And yeah, so hopefully that was like valuable. And yeah, just to end with Seth Godin quote, which is like, perfect is the enemy of good, and waiting for a perfect approach is like no emails, but yeah, good enough approach executed would actually move the needle. And yeah, there's like too many quotes in this video, but yeah, action may not always bring happiness, but yeah, there is no happiness without action. Okay, that was something that AI put this in, but okay, James Clear, and okay, why is there too many quotes? Okay. But yeah, I think this is like a really good one that I already know, which is like, you do not rise to the level of your goals, but fall to the level of your systems. So yeah, a lot of people set very ambitious goals, but not all achieve them. People who actually like fall in love with the process of actually doing it, fall in love with the systems, and the systems are like sending these outreaches or going to gym daily, and yeah, not actually just fantasizing the goals, like I don't know, making money or getting ripped, or yeah, it's the system that actually gets them. So yeah. And how to actually tell the difference, because sometimes we can just plan good. It just gets you to 70% confidence, and as I've said, it answers like what you need to do, who you need to like do this for, and how you need to do it. And if you can answer it even like a good picture, if you can like answer it with a good picture, then you just need to like get going. So yeah, and okay, why that's like too much. And okay, just a second, I'll be back. Okay, hopefully, so yeah, we're just running way back to the key takeaways of the video. So hopefully that was valuable. And yeah, do let me know if that was like too much information. But yeah, I think that was I hope that was valuable. And yeah, just to like takeaways from the video is like, decision fatigue drains more than actually just executing, and planning feels productive, but it's avoidance, and we need to be careful, because comfortable things like are not what actually moves the needle, but scary and things that have the most resistance to it actually moves the needle. And yeah, once we're at 70% confidence, then just execute, and more learning would just stall the progress there. And yeah, would just stall action. And yeah, just decide once on an approach and execute it for 30 days or whatever it is, and give it time so that you can actually see the results from it, and track inputs and not outputs, what you control versus what you don't, and build some sort of tracking metrics. So yeah, it doesn't need to be fancy. It can just be a Google Sheets where you can track, I don't know, whatever inputs you're putting in, so that you can actually, whatever measurable insights that you can get from it, or whatever, track whatever measurable things that you can from it, so that you can see over time and actually see what worked and what didn't, and so you can get feedback. And yeah, more learning past 70%, as I said, is like less clarity, and perfect emails or perfect whatever never ships, and good enough ones are actually what gets sent and actually moves the needle, and yeah, makes progress. And yeah, action energizes and planning drains. And yeah, so yeah, that's the end of the video. And stop deciding and start doing. This is me saying to myself and whoever's watching the video. So yeah, pick your 70% approach and execute it for 30 days, and no re-evaluation until day 31. And yeah, just see how it goes. And also do comment if you're like doing it and what you're doing, and yeah, after 30 days, like, we can get a look back and see what went well. And yeah, hopefully that was valuable. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. And hopefully that was okay. I'm just saying that too many times, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely rest of the day. That's the end of the video. Cheers.